Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. So, this episode was a little bit different, so the review is going to be a little bit different. This episode was mainly just a more or less kind of self contained episode that was a tribute um, towards the main patriarchy at the time, Jack and Ashley's father, which I'm going to be honest, I don't even remember his name. I didn't even write it down. I don't even think they actually even said it. I think his name was John, but I could be wrong. Um, and this had mostly to do with the infighting of the family. You know, Tracy just kind of had enough of it. And at one point, she just wanted to leave to go to New York and just kind of just distance herself from it. But she does call the family meeting. Ashley is being her usual bitchy self. Um, so you got Ashley, you got Jack, Billy, Tracy. I said, um, they all go to the meeting. Now, in the beginning, you had Kyle and Summer, and Summer's like they try to be nice to Kyle, and Kyle's like, yo, listen, I want no parts of you. Because here's the way I look at it. Summer's not there being all sad and everything that, and she's really trying. But my whole thing was like, boo, you didn't like it when you were freezing out Kyle when he was not there trying to help you. You lashed out at his mother like there was no tomorrow. You lashed out at him anytime he sat there and tried to get close to you, try to help you and everything like that. But now you want to sit there and do this sort of insta fix, like, oh well, can we just sit there and go back to things the way you used to? It's like that's her attitude. Like, oh well, me and Harrison, we did this, and he was sitting there telling these stories, and Kyle's like, yo, listen, you gotta sit there and give me my time, and my space, because that's what I did for you. Okay, regardless of how much he didn't want to do it, he did it because he respected her. And now all he's sitting there doing is asking her to do the same thing. And finally, she's like, all right, whatever, we'll talk later. So Diane comes in, and Diane's like, listen, I'll help you out. I'll talk to him. And, she's just there as a sounding board. But let's just be very clear. I do not feel bad for Summer in one instant whatsoever. Because she did the exact same thing to him. So all these tears, puppy-eyed looks, and everything like that don't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing to me. So you got that going on, and then eventually Tracy brings everyone together. Now in the beginning, she does sit there and try to kick out Diane, talking about, oh well, this is only for family and stuff like that. Nah, bro. Diane is going to be Jack's wife. So she has every right to sit there and listen on this conversation. That let's say Tucker does. Which, Asher was like, oh, well, let me sit there and bring Tucker. Okay, bring Tucker then. Like, I didn't like the idea that Tracy was meant to trying to kick out Diane. But of course, Diane didn't want to leave him because Ashley had to sit there and act like a 12-year-old schoolgirl. She just can't sit there and control herself. So Diane's like, listen, I'm just going to leave. And eventually, Summer does too because, Jack, Kyle's there and they're already not getting along. So she decides to leave with Diane and they go somewhere. Then they go down these memory lanes, clips of different people interacting with, um, different people acting with, oh, and some woman named Zelda was there. Different people acting with Jack or whatever. Which here's the thing: there was only three of them that actually had scenes with John. I think that's his name. Because as Jason Thomas was a recast, so there was really no scenes. I don't know if there was any scenes with the old Billy and John at the time. I don't know if that was that a thing, but there was some scenes with Eileen Davidson, the woman that plays Tracy, and of course, Jackie Boy. So there were nice scenes, and the whole point, I guess, of this episode was to try to get the infighting to stop between Ashley and Jack, and realizing that their dad will be just disgusted with their behavior. But he would be. He would be. And so in the end, Jack was like, is there a way we could sit there and try to, you know, come to some sort of understanding? And then you see him in the end. Um, you see him in the end, talking or whatever, but of course it's mute because they really don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really understand why they do that sometimes. There's scenes in movies and TV shows where they just talk, but you don't really hear them. It's just like music that's playing over it, and it's just like, well, if that's the case, then why just not there showing them talking? I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of wanted that. The sad thing is that I don't feel like this is going to go anywhere. Because again, this is a self-contained episode, and yes, the whole purpose is for them to sit there and try to get along. But we all know after this episode happens, they're gonna go right back to the infight. Ashley's already talking about she's gonna get Jack fired because evil Diane and all that other stuff. And he do Smith talking about Gloria and just ugh. I just I can't with Ashley. I can't with that girl. She's too much. She's too extra. It's like, yo, I get it. You don't like Diane, but now you being completely and utterly disrespectful and disgusting to Billy talking about, oh, well, you need to leave. You need to get out of here. You need, like, dismissing him. And it's like, bro, you do realize that he is your brother, right? That's how you talk to family right there? Damn, girl. Um, and just her whining and upsets it. Just this the constant whining with Diane, it's just like I start to roll my eyes after a while, and it's like between her and Phyllis, it was like when Nikki was like, "Oh, I can't believe Diane's in town, and she's causing so much mayhem and stuff like that." I was like, Nikki, you never have to work a day in your life. I don't understand why people that have the most want to sit there and constantly sit there and whine and complain like there's no tomorrow. And it's the same thing with Ashley. I was like, Ashley, you're rich. I'm like, in all reality, you honestly sit there and think that why does anyone actually give a damn? Okay, this is something I want to sit there and why does anyone give a damn what Ashley's feeling towards Diane? Let's stop and think about that for us. She's a successful, she runs a successful, well, she doesn't run, but she's part of a successful company. She's rich. Why is anyone actually caring about this woman's rich problems? I don't, and it's so trivial. It's so trivial. I think that's another reason why I just do not care. It's like every time she starts talking about dance, like I start to roll my eyes and just like, bro, no one cares. No one cares. Seriously, no one cares. Um, I feel like that's about it. This episode wasn't really like unless you are gonna watch it for the tribute part. This episode doesn't really go anywhere, and it was making me question if I should do a review on it. But I did have a lot to say about this episode. Even if it was only like 8 minutes worth, I still had some stuff to sit there and say. So I figured I'd share it. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.